Hello everyone, JDev creator of the JDev Entertainment Network has returned once again to give you precisely what you want, which of course would be more me because I'm in such high demand, especially during this coronavirus stuff, and I'm really all you need, giving you guys and gals my very first Ozark Season 1 episode recap video. Before I do that though, it's really important if you're not caught up where I am recapping Ozark, so pay attention to that episode title. And if that's the case, it's recommended that you don't watch this video simply due to any spoilers I might give you. And for the rest of you, if you could do me a favor, all these things or a couple of these things, it would be greatly appreciated. Like this video, share this video, hit that sub button and subscribe to the channel, and make sure you always leave a comment with your thoughts on each video and your overall score of each episode that I do. So Ozark Season 1, Episode 1, the pilot episode is called Sugarwood, and it's a very interesting show. It has kind of a Breaking Bad vibe to it, but not entirely. It starts off really with Marty Byrde, played by Jason Bateman, who's in his office, and there's two people that are interviewing him to potentially have him be their financial advisor. And then his partner comes in, Bruce, and says that unfortunately we're not taking more clients because we have 73% of Northwestern. And he's like, unless they could open a $5,000 account right away, right now. And the couple eagerly agrees, so they do open up an account. And then Bruce, Marty go to a office space that's in a high-rise downtown and talk about how they want to take over this office. Bruce's office will be over there, Marty's office will be over there, or actually it was the other way around. But they'd have like their own employees and everything, and Bruce is all for it because he wants to drive the business, and Marty's like, no. And then Bruce's wife or fiance is there, Liz, too. So that's a little interesting. And then Bruce tells Marty about this vacation that him and Liz just went on, Lake of the Ozarks at the Redneck Riviera, and recommends Marty buy some land there because actually when Marty was having the interview with the two clients, he was watching a porn at the same time. So Bruce says that Marty should buy some land there as means of escaping the city and improving his mood and maybe his marriage. And then Bruce said that they should take the space, and Marty says he'll consider it. And then we have Marty and Wendy, his wife, played by Laura Linney, having dinner with their 15-year-old daughter, Charlotte, and their son, Jonah. And Jonah's trying to get money from Marty, and Marty's like, no. And Laura, or the wife, Wendy's trying, like, just get it out of my purse. And Marty's like, she got 50 this week, 20 the week before, and now she wants 10. She needs to learn the value of money. And then her and Jonah go back and forth with calling each other retard. And Marty tells them not to use that word. And then later on, we see Marty and Wendy are sitting in front of the TV, but behind her back, he's actually watching that same porn video. So Marty really likes this porno, apparently. And then Marty tucks Charlotte in and then drives off and picks up a prostitute. As she gives him head, all of a sudden, he's suddenly disturbed with a prostitute knocking on his car window. So he actually wasn't getting head. It was just a fantasy. And then Bruce calls Marty and says he's at Hanson's Trucking and that he needs Marty there. When Marty declines, Bruce tells him Dell is also there. So Bruce gets there, and Dell is like this kingpin. Apparently, this Hanson's Trucking, they've been sending drug money through there, and then they send it to Marty and Bruce, and they clean the money, apparently, from what I gather. So Dell says that there's $5 million missing, and they've collected $100 million in drug money and passed it on to Marty and Bruce to launder, and he wants the $5 million back. And eventually, they both deny it. And at some point, Liz, Bruce's fiance, shows up there. She goes to the bathroom, and nobody's really coming clean. The Hansons say they didn't do it. I'm just reading my notes here. I don't want to miss any important things, and I always do, though, it seems like. But in any event, Marty says that maybe you should look further down the line. You've got a lot of people that are meth heads and, you know, other people down the line, drug dealers that potentially stole it from you. And then he says that Dell's now involved as a civilian, and that's a mistake, and it is a ruse. He says it's an intimidation audit, as he says. He's trying to get them to say if somebody stole it. Dell gets mad and pulls out his pistol and shoots through the restroom door. Liz's body thuds on the floor. Hanson Jr. starts yelling at his father is not involved, and that was all Bruce's idea. Then they are taken outside, and Liz's body is placed into a barrel of acid. And Dell says he likes Chicago because of all the Mexicans, but he dislikes Chicago because of all the Mexicans who attract all the federal law enforcement agencies like the DEA and the FBI. Yet, he points out, the drama comes from these 4 white guys. The Hansons beg for their life. First, Dell shoots Hanson Sr., and then one of his goons shoot Hanson Jr. Then they're on to Bruce. Bruce kind of begs a little bit, and then tells Dell that Marty had nothing to do with it, and eventually Dell shoots him, and then Dell walks over to Marty, and Marty in cuffs is like trying to pull his phone out. Let me call my family. Let me say goodbye to my kids. He's like pulling his phone out, and Dell grabs it and kind of tosses it away, and he's about to shoot Marty, and then Marty sees the Ozark pamphlet that Bruce was talking about earlier in the episode, and starts talking about how he could turn his $8 million into a lot more, and that he can make him $5 million in 5 years, which is a crazy, crazy statement by going to this Ozark place where there's untapped potential, and all these people come there. And eventually Dell says, okay, $5 million in 5 years, and I want the $8 million that you stole from me within 48 hours. So now Marty has a task at hand. At home, Wendy actually knows that what Marty does and says they should go to the police. Marty suggests that she think about what would happen with the police if they go get that far, as people he's been working with have no code of ethics. Wendy realizes that Marty is acting this way because she and the kids are also in danger, and Marty says he will try to gather the $8 million while Wendy will prepare for the move and the sale of the house. So Dell tells them he wants him to move down there, and he wants a for sale sign in front of their house within 48 hours as well, I believe. And then they tell the kids. Charlotte refuses. Jonah worries the Ozarks are basically the woods. As he makes breakfast, Marty tells them families move to follow work opportunities every day. Charlotte storms off. Wendy goes to talk to her. At the office, Marty calls his bankers and puts off their hesitations, and they cannot get that much physical cash in such a short time without raising red flags, adding early withdrawal penalties and taxes, etc. Marty then tells his secretary that the firm has been dissolved and no more. So the place that has Marty's money is saying that they can't come up with that much cash in that short of time. And Marty's like, yes, you can. You're a bank. Wendy's at a high-rise apartment telling an older man that Marty is in business with some bad people and the family has to leave. The man is he's just concerned because it's Marty. Elsewhere, a private investigator tells Marty that the older man's name is Gary Silverberg, a partner with a downtown law firm. Wendy has been seeing him twice a week. She calls him Sugarwood, and then he's been advising her and whatnot. Then we have Marty in his car talking to himself. He's saying he's been... Basically, this Silverberg character is the one that the porno he was watching was him, Silverberg, and his wife. So she's been cheating on Marty with this guy. And he's going to go to this guy's place, Gary's place. And as he's walking there talking to himself, Gary's body comes flying down. And he's like, whoa, what the fuck? So Marty drives away, and Dell calls him and asks him why Wendy has a $30,000 check in her possession. Dell knows that Marty lied to him about Wendy not knowing about their business arrangement, so he had asked him, does his wife know? And he's like, no, she doesn't know anything. My kids don't know anything. Dell wonders why Marty would do that, and will now go through an ugly divorce, where Wendy will certainly bring up Marty's criminal enterprise, or let Dell take care of what Wendy's problem. Well, anyway, he doesn't let Dell kill Marty. Well, talks Dell into not killing her somehow, and Wendy comes home and says, "You're welcome." Now, Marty goes off to the bank with a rolling suitcase and 2 duffel bags. The banker leads him to the vault where another banker and 3 federal agents are waiting for him. They hold up a sign asking if he is under duress, if he's a victim of kidnapping, and scam him with metal detector wand. He assures them that he is not wired, and that the money is for a business opportunity. He says what he does with his money is his own business. He threatens to go back to the lobby and yell that he can't get his money out, causing a panic. He leaves with almost $8 million and goes to meet Dell. So he gets his money. Now he tells them, they say they don't have his money. He's like, well, if I was under duress or I was a kidnap victim, you wouldn't take the chance and you would have my money. So he goes to the park to meet Dell and his henchmen. Dell's henchmen count the cash and put it into another vehicle. Marty says that it's a little short, and he was planning on selling his minivan to recoup the rest of the money. And Dell says, I tell you what, I'll buy your minivan and give you the rest of the money for this much. And they make some sort of agreement. So Dell gives Marty back all the money and wants him to invest it in Ozark. And it's a very crazy idea, in my opinion. A lot of shit has to happen for this whole plan to work out. And at home, Wendy and Charlotte are loading up their car. Charlotte sees Wendy is stressed and asks what is really going on. And Wendy hugs her and asks Charlotte to support her over the next few days and to trust them. The FBI is swarming over the office that Bruce and Marty and Liz were looking at. Agent Evans suggests to Agent Petty that Bruce must have left the country with Liz. Another agent tells Petty that they've collected the bugs they had planted. The first agent wonders why Petty isn't more upset as Bruce was therein, and that he would have made a fantastic government witness. Petty thinks the feds are overestimating Mexicans and the mafia and Muslims, that they are made out of criminal masterminds, but in reality, they are like Bruce, entertaining, pathological, and liars. Petty asks where Marty Bird is, and then the episode ends with the family is driving through a forested area. Marty pulls over and telling Wendy and the kids he has to take a leak. Instead, he walks a few yards into a forest, leans over against the tree, and quietly says, "I'm so sorry," as he walks ahead a few more yards and looks over the expanse of the Ozark Lake. The family comes up behind him to take in the view of their new home. So, pretty crazy stuff. This Dell character has a lot of charisma, and he's apparently a mastermind. He likes to shoot people. As far as a grade for the episode, I'll give it an 8.2 out of 10. I mean, there was a lot of intriguing things, but a lot of things seem really far-fetched about him trying to make that much money in that short time. But I liked it. Of course I liked it. I've watched all this episode so far. So make sure you leave your thoughts, your overall score of the episode. Like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And, of course, JDev will be back again soon with another. Peace.